Well, I love phone calls like this when a homeowner reaches out looking for a fence. They said they were walking through the Aldrich Elementary area out in that neighborhood. A lot of fences going out there because there's no trees yet. It's such a new neighborhood. But anyway, they were walking and walked past a previous fence that we did. The last fence was an ornamental aluminum fence. And, they saw our fence sign, fence badge, and said, hey, that is an attractive fence. We really want something like that. Can you come give us a quote? Obviously, I'm on the way there now, and told them, yeah, I'd love to, and we'll take a look at your property. And so we're gonna head out there in the Aldrich neighborhood again. They said they just moved into this house 4 or 5 months ago, custom built house for them. So knowing the Aldrich area, most fences out there, you wouldn't look out of place putting a nice ornamental steel or ornamental aluminum fence in that area. Again, like I've said on some of the other consultation videos about the Aldrich Addition area or even the Meadows, anything really west of Hudson Road, there are easements everywhere. And so I hope they know about the easement if they have one. I did pull up actually the plat before going off to that address, just because I like to show up informed about the property. The GIS system for Cedar Falls showed, there is an 8-foot easement, 8 foot into their backyard. And so I'm hoping they're aware of that. It's always kind of disheartening when somebody says, I want a fence right here, and it looks like it makes sense until you start talking to the city and realize, hey, that's a drainage easement. You cannot build there. But we'll go out, we'll do the consultation, and kind of see what their needs are. From the conversation I had, they had said it was dogs. It's obviously not privacy because ornamental fences, their main focus is security, elegance, and visibility. So we'll take a look and come back and kind of discuss what we see. We would be looking at a 4-foot ornamental steel fence here, and we would be coming off the corner of their house and just kind of spin around so we can get a perspective. This is the corner of the lot. This is the south side. We'd be coming off the corner and running it straight off the corner towards the easement, towards their property line. We'd be coming 8 feet with one full section, and then putting a post in the ground for a 4-foot walking gate. And then we would continue the fence to that corner. The one thing I do want to note here, there is a potential in the future of us needing to remove just that one post and that one 8-foot section, or even better yet, we could just remove the section, and then they have access to get equipment into the back to build a shed for storage and items like that. So in the quote, I will make a note of that, and we'd be putting the last corner post on the inside of this chain link, enough that there's maybe just a finger or two worth of space between your post and the neighbor, but that way it's on your property. We'd obviously be cheating off of this fence and just allowing it to border part of your property. And then we'd start again right here. We'd be putting a post right in front of the chain link, and we'd be following the fence right along the brick border. And then cornering right here in towards the house. There would be a 4-foot walking gate on this side. Hinge would be located here. The gate would swing outward like that. And there'd be a post that is going to be core drilled into the concrete right in that spot so that that post can sit really clean and stay there without any concern. It'll be a very smooth, cleaned off concrete area. And this would be the latch post. That is it for the initial consultation walkthrough for Nicholas Graham and Perfect Picket. That would be a great yard for an ornamental fence. The house is gorgeous, and that would be a property where if they called me out and I didn't know what they were looking for, and they said, what kind of fence would you put in this yard? Ornamental. That would be the exact thing I would say. It accents the modernness of their house so much. There was an 8-foot drainage easement that I discussed with them. They were very well aware. So That is always an easier conversation for me. I just hate letting homeowners down, especially if a fence makes sense, in an easement. We just got to follow the rules to make sure that, your neighbor doesn't get flooded or we don't get flooded or anything like that. So the one really interesting spot, or not interesting per se, but one of the things that we really like to do when we're installing over concrete, whether it's a driveway or a sidewalk, or even if it's just like a slab somewhere, like there's a shed that's on a slab and somehow we have to put a post on that slab, there are two ways to do it. The first way is it's okay. It definitely gets the job done, but it has its drawbacks, and that is to use a plated post. As far as I know, that is what every fence company does. They don't even give you an option to do what we do, but they will use a plated post. Essentially, that's just taking a normal post, they weld on a plate onto the bottom, they anchor it to the concrete with either like wedge anchors, or a lot of times it's just a big old concrete screw. It works. The reason I say it works instead of like that's what we do all the time is because when you do that, a lot of times that post is for a gate. If it's going to be on a sidewalk or a driveway, there's going to be a gate real close by, if not right on that post. Now, when they leave the job site, probably won't be a big issue. That post is going to be strong. However, how many times a day do you think you go through that gate? And how many times do you think that gate starts swinging and hitting the post? You add that over the next 5 years, you're going to have 10,000 cycles of those hinges and that latch and force on that post. And what can happen is those anchors can kind of start to get loose and wobble. And then you've got a wobbly post right next to your gate and you're always using it. What we typically do is a core drill. And so we will be very specific and precise about, hey, this post is going to live right here. And then we will drill a cylinder out of the concrete that is an inch or so wider than the largest part of the post. And so it's a tight fit. And then we will take our post and drive it through that cylinder that we removed. Through that cylinder, the bottom is the dirt underneath the concrete. We'll drive our post just like normal all the way through into full depth. And then we will use either quickset or we will use hydraulic cement. And it is like a paste that is concrete, and we will fill that gap in, or that hole around the post, screed it nice and smooth, and then when it dries, that is the strongest post in your entire property, because it's not only full depth into the ground, but it is also locked in to the sidewalk or the driveway. The reason we do that is two things. One, it's the strongest post in a place that you don't want that post to wobble. Second thing, it is a seamless look. It is not a big 3/16 inch by 4 by 4 inch steel plate sitting on top of your concrete with big screws sticking out. We always give the homeowner the option and discuss it. The only reasons that I typically suggest a plated post over a core drill are, number one, they're going to get their driveway or sidewalk replaced within the next 5 years. In that case, I always say, I would recommend the plated post because it's going to be easier to remove. And then you're going to be able to put your concrete in and call us back. We'll put a new post in that space. Perfect. Or the other reason would be if the fence is more of a temporary fence. Like, hey, we just need a chain link fence up right now. We don't really care. Those are the two reasons. So if when we build this fence, I'm hoping we do, we'll go ahead and put a video up again and show you how the consultation went, how we discussed everything, and then how the final product looked. So until then, have a perfect day.